I've always been a solitary child with only a few friends. But the friendships that I did have were all the more strong and worthwhile, especially my friendship with Silver. I met him in the 3rd grade, and all through primary school we were the closest of friends. I connected with him on a deep, personal level. We could talk for hours, inventing entire universes filled with elves, fairies, and unicorns. We can talk about anything, and we understand each other very well. It quite often happens that we are talking and we don't realize that hours have passed. However, I don't see any friendships like that in the media. Most media focus largely on cis-het romantic relationships instead of platonic ones. And when it's not the main focus of the story, a romantic subplot is usually thrown in somewhere. This has gone to a point that when there are a male and a female lead, it's almost always a given that they will end up together. You may ask, why is that a problem? Romantic relationships are an important part of life, and if people want to write about that, that's completely fine. But here's the thing, real life imitates art. By having the majority of the media be focused on cis-het romantic relationships, it gives off the message that those relationships are the only type of relationships that matter. This is simply not true. Rather yet, platonic relationships are even more important than romantic relationships. Research shows that people without a good social network are not only less happy than people with, they are also 30% more likely to die within the year. This while having a romantic partner has no proven effect on either your general happiness or your mortality risk. A lack of friendships can also lead to the development of some serious mental disorders, while a lack of romantic relationships does no such thing. Media does damage by downplaying the importance of friendships because it will affect the way people view real-life friendships. They won't see the importance of them. When I was 13 years old, I was obsessed with the musical Wicked. This show is one of the rare shows that does focus on friendship. I love this show because I saw my friendship with Silver in the friendship between Galinda and Elphaba, the 2 main characters. But even then, most of the fans of the show did not consider Elphaba and Galinda friends, but lovers. This phenomenon I've seen many more times. Whenever there's a strong friendship on paper, screen, or stage, a huge part of the fandom will think that they're not friends, but lovers. You may ask once again, why is this a problem? If people view 2 characters as a couple, that does not invalidate your experience of viewing them as friends. But I think the problem is bigger than that. Shipping is proof that people have stopped seeing the value in friendships. They see a relationships that meaningful and immediately think, oh, they must be in love. This can be very invalidating to real-life friendships that are important to people. So there are not that many friendships portrayed in the media, and those that are there are often turned into romantic relationships by the fans. This is a problem because it devaluates friendships, which is one of the most valuable parts of human life. I now see Silver much less than in primary school, but he is still there, and I know I can depend on him. He and all of my other friends have made my life a lot better. And I would like to see this kind of positive, supportive friendships more often in the media. They're super important, and I could not live my life without them.